Welcome to Please Me, the award-winning sexuality podcast bringing you bold conversations and big clit energy. I'm thrilled to announce that Please Me is the #1 ranked sexuality podcast in the USA and worldwide. I'm Eve, your host, on a journey from trauma to sexual liberation. Join me and my guests as we dive into conversations around orgasm equality, self-love, body positivity, and essential sex education. Let's reclaim pleasure and close the orgasm gap, one empowering conversation at a time. In the last episode, I shared a webinar on the real, sometimes scary realities of sexual health and how to be prepared for unexpected moments in the bedroom. From condom breaks to performance issues, we covered practical prevention strategies, plus how to build a sexual health bug-out bag so you're ready for life's intimate emergencies. If you missed it, go back and listen. Today, I'm welcoming back Anthony Weaver from the About That Wallet podcast for the 2-part Season 6 finale. Anthony also helped close out Season 5, one of my most watched episodes of Season 5, so he's back to break down the highlights, lessons, and standout moments of Season 6. I think you're going to love this 2-part conversation. Through the end of the year, I am continuing to raise funds for the survivors of the catastrophic typhoon in the Philippines, which struck just weeks after a devastating 6.9 magnitude earthquake hit the same region. Please check the show notes for the donation link. Any support you can give is truly appreciated. Want to ask a question for the Please Me podcast? Join the conversation on Patreon or subscribe to my Substack newsletter for exclusive content, behind-the-scenes updates, and a chance to have your questions featured on the show. Patreon also includes the full Kink series episodes, exclusive guest photo shoots, and a New Orleans photo set of me. Step into the community for more intimacy, education, and sex-positive insights. Please Me is for mature audiences, so sit back, relax, and surrender to the pleasure of Please Me. It's interesting that you brought that up because I'm actually currently doing a giveaway of the product. They sent me some samples, or actually they're not samples, they're the entire container.
Really?
They sent me some gifts, and this one in particular is mine. And so I've already opened it, but it comes in this beautiful glass container, and I have tried it. It's super slippery, and it does last way longer than many other lubricants that I've tried. Eve here from Please Me Podcast. I'm here with my must-haves for the holidays. If you're looking for gifts that never go out of style, look no further. Or treat yourself to these incredible products that I can't live without. Parlor Game's estrogen and progesterone topical creams will keep your libido revving and your lady bits happy. I love the Silky Peach Cream and Vibrant Third for keeping my hormones in balance. Maybe you want to give the gift of health. Get the latest in stem cell technology, pain relief, and inflammation reduction from LifeWave. After COVID, I gave up wearing a bra, and I have found the best solution to having that seamless look without the discomfort of a bra. Cakes are non-adhesive pads that naturally adhere to your skin and always look flawless. They make such a great gift too. I never start my day without taking my Juice Plus chewables. They come in capsules too and are a great way to get the nutrition of 30 fruits and veggies into your diet easy. Don't forget the omegas for brain health and heart health. I never start my day without a Juice Plus shake. With the glycemic index of broccoli and great plant-based protein, they are perfect when you are on the go. Every day, I check on my tower garden and harvest a bowl of greens for lunch. The aeroponic garden is the ultimate in grow-at-home technology and helps me get my veggies in daily for tower to plate eating. Maybe you're wondering, what about my intimate time, Eve? Don't forget that I love Bonnie's Herbals and her sex butter and boudoir butter. And of course, everyone loves toys for the holidays. Get your sexy toys now at pleaseme.online. Happy, healthy, and sexy holidays. Hello, and
Meet the computer you can talk to. With Copilot on Windows, working, creating, and collaborating is as easy as talking. Got writer's block? Share your screen with Copilot Vision to help spark inspiration, and use Copilot Voice to have a conversation and brainstorm ideas. Or maybe you need some tech help. With Copilot Vision, Copilot sees what you see. Let Copilot talk you through step-by-step guidance so you can master new apps, games, and skills faster. Try now at windows.com/Copilot.
At IKEA, your dreams can come true. Well, maybe not the ones where you're being chased by a monster. We're talking about kitchen dreams. And there are IKEA products and solutions for all of them. Whether it's a whole new kitchen, a statement glassware set, or just new cutlery. If you got big dreams or small dreams in any size of budget, IKEA can help you bring them to life. Visit ikea.us/dreamkitchen to learn more. Dream the possibilities.
Retirement isn't just about closing out your career. It's living the life you've always dreamed of. With New York Life, you get the financial guidance to make it real. Start today at nyl.com.
Welcome to Please Me, the podcast that aims to destigmatize conversations about sex and sexual health by turning the sheets into our classroom. Today, I'm so excited to welcome back Anthony Weaver from About That Wallet podcast. It's one of my favorite financial podcasts, and Anthony has been on the show before, and I asked him back. He was on it last season, and he did the season closing episode with me, and I asked him to come back because that was one of my most watched episodes of the season 5, and this is now season 6. So we're going to be doing the season closer today. It's going to be a 2-part series with Anthony, and we're going to be talking about this season and how it's played out. So I just want to welcome you, Anthony, to the show. And how are you tonight?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for having me, Eve. This has been such a great time, and actually taking time out to listen to your show has been amazing. Learned so much. I can't wait to dive into it. And if this is your first time diving into Eve's show and this is your first introduction, trust me, you want to go back and listen to some of these episodes from season 6. You just got to listen to them all. But we're going to talk about some of those highlight ones, the ones that were exciting to me, some that were really cool for Eve to talk about. I can't say her favorite because that's bias. You know, we got to do that as a host to host. I understand.
Yes, absolutely. And you just mentioned favorite episodes, right? And so I'm curious to know what your favorite episode of the season was.
Yeah, my favorite episode is the one where it says falling in love or feeling love, tanks and facing challenges. And
Okay.
that one with Dr. Amy and Roy Clark has been my favorite one.
Okay, that was a really good episode.
Yeah.
Tell me what you liked about that episode.
Well, I really liked the fact that they were both divorced and that they were actually trying to relearn themselves in the sense of a new light and not really carry the baggage of the prior relationship. However, they did learn from their prior relationship by not asking the questions that they wish they would have in their prior marriage. And so by them being in a proximity inside the same space, he was doing his own thing, she was doing her own thing, but they found a collaboration spot and then they wound up hooking up. And I thought that was actually pretty cool to kind of show that even though you've gone through divorce, there is still a possibility that somebody will still love you for who you are, broken or not, emotionally scarred or even physically scarred, that once you have those opportunities to really talk through what is going on and do it in a healthy way and not in a sense of hurting that person or exploiting their emotions. And it's really hurtful sometimes when you go through some stuff and people know the dark sides of it and they just want to shove it in your face all the time. And having somebody that actually support you throughout that process. And this is the reason why that episode was my favorite out of the season. So thank you for that. That was a great episode, by the way.
Thank you. I'm so glad that you liked it. And I actually liked it for that reason too. You and I are both divorcees, right? And we have experienced the hellishness of that. At some points, I feel like I'm still going through it, unfortunately. And absolutely, they gave me hope that there can be, a relationship that can be even more amazing for me in the future. And also, they really did work on themselves. And so a lot of times, people do get divorced. It's a very common thing. And what's most encouraging about it to me is that it can be a space where you actually focus on growth and you focus on healing and you focus on, bettering yourself. And that is always going to make you more attractive to a partner in the future. So I really love that episode too. And they also talked about a luxury lubricant that they created.
Oh,
They
yes.
created a business. And what did you think about that product? Were you curious about it?
Well, one of the things that got me curious about it was the long lastings of the lubrication, because when they were talking about, they tested it out on so many different areas with different people doing different activities and even on themselves. And they were just kind of frustrated that a lot of lubricants lose their lubrication or their sleekness after a period of time. And for them to come up with a 3 ingredient lubrication, you cannot beat that. And it's something that is also condom safe as well, so it doesn't deteriorate. And I believe in that episode you were talking about how coconut is one option as a natural option, but it also is not condom safe. So to kind of give you that mix and feel of something that's natural, I have to say it sounds really amazing.
Yes, it's interesting that you brought that up because I'm actually currently doing a giveaway of the
Oh,
product. They sent me some samples, or actually, they're not samples; they're the entire container.
really?
They sent me some gifts, and this one in particular is mine.
Okay.
And so I've already opened it, but it
Mhm.
comes in this beautiful glass container, and I have tried it. It's super slippery, and it does last way longer than many other lubricants that I've tried. And you mentioned coconut oil, which is usually my favorite. However, you're absolutely right. It's not the greatest to use with condoms. It can cause breakage. And so you don't want to use coconut oil with condoms. And so this one is a really good choice. And so I'm going to be doing a giveaway. Actually, I'll bring it up now. This is the new box, and it's going to be given to the 10th person who signs up for my Patreon account. So I
Hey.
am really hoping to get some great members on that account. And so the 10th person that signs up is going to win an Aria lubricant. And so it's holiday season, right? And so this is going to be a holiday bonus. So make sure that if you have been thinking about joining Patreon, that you go ahead and jump on and get your membership. It's only $10 a month. And this lubricant is actually $50 value. So you will get a
Wow.
deal if you win that lubricant. So make sure that you sign up soon.
Now, can you read off like the details of it? Like how many ounces are we looking here with that particular product? And
So
um,
it's 4.06 fluid ounces or 120 milliliters. It's a pretty significant size. If
mhm,
I show you mine, and then, of course, the little card that comes inside, right? This is like the 4-question card that they
mhm.
were talking about that helps you to connect with your partner. So you can see it's a pretty decent size. Isn't it
Nice.
pretty?
Now, is it a spray or is it like a kind of pour
No,
situation?
it's a pump. So it has like a little, yeah,
Ah,
you like pump it on your hand and then you
mhm.
can go from there. So, yeah, so it works really well. I've been loving it. Definitely going to continue using it until it's all gone. And then I'll have to purchase my own from then on out. But yeah, it's been really fun to try it. And another like fun bonus of the show and like the things that people send me, especially if they have products.
Yeah,
And
and
go
I
ahead.
wanted to say like the cool thing about having it as a spray is that it's easy for cleanup because you're not using more than what you really need. And if you do a little extra spray, it's okay. Versus, like the glob, you got to make sure you line it up and then to pour out and just hopefully you didn't pour too much. So I think that is a great touch. It's a great product, it looked like.
Yeah, it's actually a pump. It's not a spray. It doesn't come out like like a spray. It
Yeah.
comes out like as a pump. But
Hmm.
each pump, I think usually I use like 3 or 4 pumps per,
Hmm.
per application. And so, and I haven't really had to reapply it too many times. I mean,
That's good.
obviously, if you're going on, you'll need to reapply. But I like to make sure that I apply to both surfaces. That way, they're both slick and ready, and it feels amazing. So,
Good to know. That's good to know.
Yes. So tell me more about the other episodes that you found interesting this season. I know that this season we started something new, and I started a kink series. Have you been able to listen to any of my kink series?
Yes, I did listen to one of the Kink series. Well, the 25 minutes that you put on there, that was really cool. And it was just talking about how the African American or the BIPOC community was actually part of the kink community from a long time ago. It's just the way how it was actually evolved and what it takes to even go through a lot of that to say like, okay, this is something that I want to do. And then moving on throughout the episode, it was just kind of let me understand like the exploration on why certain people like certain things. And I did not realize that feet pics or just having that non-sexual pleasure is such a big deal in that particular community, and understanding the role of a dom versus a sub, and how the care and feed of a dom has to make sure that they don't overdo the sub in that instance. And I thought that was actually pretty good that she even takes a moment to understand and ask, why did you even hire me in the first place? And I think that is a really good question. Even when you're just going through the holidays, or just thinking like, why did you buy this product in the first place, or why are you buying this service? And that's causing me to pause and just kind of take an expanding of, why did I even buy anything? Like at this point, like what was my purpose, and is it serving its purpose on what it needs to do? And am I going to get the pleasure that I asked for when I particularly purchase this product? But going through this service, it's like, why did I purchase this service, and how is the service going to show up for me? And this is what I'm looking for. So also you have to kind of find that confidence, I guess, as a sub, to kind of really know yourself, but also to trust somebody else to kind of serve that need that you have, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. And the episode that you're referring to is the one with the commandant.
Yes.
And yes, she was incredible. And she did talk about the history of kink and BDSM. And she tied it back to the Yoruba people in Africa, which I thought was fascinating. And something that I actually didn't know. And so when you look at the history of a lot of things, oftentimes things are tied back to Africa. And so it's so good to know history. I think it's just so important for people to understand history. And there's a very big historical component to the kink community and the leather community in the BIPOC world. So I just love to sort of dive back and sort of get that information. And then you talked about sub and doms, and how the dom interviews the sub for playtime, and how the sub really needs to understand what they're trying to get out of the experience and how they want to feel afterwards. And I think that is one of the most important questions that I think a dom can ask a sub, is how they want to feel afterwards. Because if they want to feel love, you're going to do one thing. If they want to feel pain, you're going to do something else. If they want to feel, like they've pushed themselves to the absolute limit, you're going to do something else. And then negotiating what the different things are that each person would like to experience during that time. So it was amazing. I don't know if you listened to the part where or the episode where I talked about where I met all of these amazing women. Yes,
I did listen to that part because part of that series, it was just saying like how you went to the conference, and I'm trying to remember the name of the conference.
It was called DomCon in New Orleans.
Yes.
DomCon, yes.
And one of the things, I don't want to overstep the fact that one of the key important things that she mentioned in that episode before we continue on is this, the aftercare. Because she was saying it's like when it stopped all of a sudden, most of them would just stop abruptly, and then that's it. And then a lot of people have felt hurt because they didn't have that wind down situation, even though you wind them up. But what does that wind down look like? What does that aftercare feels like? And I think that's something that goes back to the communication, even if you're just doing everyday interactions and finding your partners to really talk about, hey, what does your aftercare look like? Do you want to snuggle? Are you okay just taking a shower and then watching TV, or do you just get up and start your day? What does the aftercare look like for you? So I just didn't want to overstep or forget that piece of that episode, and I thought that was really, really important.
Yes, aftercare is one of those things that I've mentioned many times, but it keeps coming up over and over again in the kink
Yes.
series because aftercare is an essential component of any kink scene. You have the playtime and then you have the aftercare, and everybody has their own idea of what they need for aftercare. But even if you are not doing a kink scene and you're just having ordinary sex or kinky sex or anything in between, right? You should really think about what aftercare looks for you. What do you like to do after you've had some fun together in the sheets? And not everybody's the same. Some people don't like to snuggle. Some people don't like to kiss and make out. Some people, want to just get up and go about their day and have a conversation over the phone about it, or maybe not at all. I mean, it really just depends. You know what I mean?
Right.
And everybody's different. And so if you don't have that discussion, you're not going to ever really know what your partner really wants. And don't you want to fulfill their needs in every way?
Oh yeah, that's the whole purpose of it all. Like, why wouldn't you want to help serve? In a sense, you're both in serving each other to make sure everybody's satisfied. And sometimes it's a give and take. I mean, I think we're gonna jump around in these episodes, but you also reposted one of the episodes that you had on there called "More Pleasure in 2025." Please Me podcast, I guess. And that was when you were interviewed on somebody else's show and you were talking about your big click energy and all of that, how that came about. But one of the things that was important for you, which I thought was interesting that you brought up a lot, is that your boyfriend likes to do morning activities and you like to do afternoon activities. And I guess my question to you is there a compromise between that? Like, because I noticed you mentioned it, but I was like, where's the compromise? Who's compromising for what and how often? And is it fair?
How often and is it fair?
Yeah.
Well, yes, there's always a compromise, because if there wasn't, we'd just never, get it on. And so,
Get it
so, absolutely, there's always a compromise. Sometimes we do the mornings, sometimes we do the evenings. It really just depends. But if I am in the mood, I will definitely start the flirtation early on in the day and ask for what I need that evening or whenever it may be. So if I'm free in the afternoon and he's around in the afternoon and I know he's going to be, I may say, hey, I'm free this afternoon at 2. Do you want to meet me in the bedroom? So yeah, absolutely. Planning ahead, I think, is always important. That flirtation ahead of time always sets the mood and gets people excited. And yes, of course, there's always compromising. I'm not going to always get my needs, met the way that I want them to, and he's not always going to get them met the way he wants them to. But no matter what, we are always ready to explore and be together. So I think that that's really a special thing. And you were talking, that episode was one that I did that was actually a redo of I repurposed an episode that I had been on with the Liquor Talk episode. And yeah, this season, actually, I did that a few times. I also repurposed an episode on Ask a Sex Therapist. That was also a really good episode. And this week, actually, I'm repurposing another episode that I did on What If You Could podcast. You haven't heard that one because it's coming out this week, but I've done that a few times this season, and it's been really fun to sort of go back and find the interviews that people have interviewed me for their shows and sort of share those episodes with my listenership here on Please Me as well, What do you think about that? That was something that actually I stole from another podcaster. I listened to one of my favorite podcasts. It's called Financial Feminist.
Mm-hmm.
And I was listening to an episode that she was doing sort of like in between switching from like one thing to another. And she repurposed an episode that she had been interviewed on. And I was like, it was like a light bulb went off. I'm like, why have I never thought of that? Why not bring back some of these episodes? Because, my listeners aren't typically listening to those episodes. And it's nice for them to see me being interviewed as well. So have you ever done that on your show? Have you ever repurposed an episode of someone that's interviewed you?
I've done it once or twice in the past, but I haven't done it in a while, mostly because I have scheduled episodes of guests already. And because of the guests have paid to be on, like I gotta get those episodes out. And so now that I'm cleared my paid backlog, now I've
Okay.
got the flexibility to kind of throw some of those in as we wrap up the year. I might start the year off with that, with some of those episodes. However, there was one thing that you mentioned. Oh, the Ask the Psychology podcast. The reason why I like that guy, and it was just kind of like, if you listen to that episode, and I was like, I know there's got to be something on why does he keep asking you? Well, over time, how does it go? Well, over time, how's this? But can you tell me a little bit more? Like, what came out at the end was that he was kind of figuring out, well, I've been married for like what? I think he said like 15 years or something like that, or 13 something.
I'm not sure which episode you're talking about. Are you talking about the liquor talk one?
No, it was the other one, Ask a Therapist.
Ask the Sex Therapist. It was actually a woman. It wasn't a man.
Oh, it was another guy that was interviewing you. I'm sorry. And it just seemed like he kept asking you about that over time. And I was like, well, it just seems like he's asking for something else. And what was happening is that he wound up saying just like over time, it just didn't make sense of why, do you keep kissing in the same area. Like first he said like the first 15 times it worked, but then after that, it's just kind of like, okay, well, kiss somewhere else. And then you were walking him through trying to find ways to kind of spice it up a little bit or change things differently or open up his communication that he was kind of closed off on and not really having that a deep conversation with his partner or with his wife. And so I was like, Eve is on it today with that episode. That was really good.
It's not triggering my memory, but there were so many episodes this season.
Mhm.
And yes, absolutely. Our bodies change over time. And what works for you, 5 years ago is not necessarily what's going to work for you now. And so really trying to hone in on those things that work for you now and communicating that with your partner is so, so essential so that you can continue to have your pleasure needs met well into your 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s, right? We want to have amazing sex throughout our whole lives. And so as your body changes, you do need to, reassess. And what better way to do that than to reassess with your partner and to communicate that. And so one of the things that I like to talk about is the whole entire body being an erogenous zone. And one of the things that you can do is explore the entire body because, there are certain parts of the body that may be sensitive to one person, but not necessarily sensitive to another person. And so the only way that you're going to know about those erogenous zones is if you explore them with your partner and taking turns and figuring out what those things are for each other so that you can really get your pleasure needs met and really, get your partner's pleasure needs met too, because we want to, pleasure each other.
Yeah, and talking about that because you went to DomCom, and can you talk about what was the biggest takeaway from that you've learned besides these amazing women that are actually dominating out there, really not killing it, spanking it out there, shall I say?
Yeah, so the purpose of me going to DomCon is because I myself have been dabbling in kink for several years. I love certain aspects of kink. One of the things that I absolutely love about kink is how good they are at communication. And they really talk about the entire scene and everything that they want to do during the time of the scene. So I love that. And also the aftercare and also the checking in afterwards. All of those things are things that I think are essential for any kind of sex, whether you're having vanilla sex, spicy sex, kink sex. It's essential to do these things on a regular. That way everybody knows what's going on, what to expect. No boundaries are being crossed. You're discussing your boundaries ahead of time. You're discussing your hard limits, meaning what you don't want to do that day. And, one day may be different from the other. It doesn't necessarily mean that like one day you may want anal sex and the next day you may not, so it's good to be able to have those conversations with your partner so that everybody is on the same page when you're, jumping into bed together. So the reason why I went to DomCon is because I had been dabbling and I really wanted to learn from the experts. And what DomCon was or is a conference that attracts all of the dominatrixes of the world. And They come together to teach their craft. And there were things on there that I had never heard about before, like a vacuum cube and I'm not going into any of this right now, but like cigars and kink. Like I didn't go to that one either. There were so many different things that I was like, wow, like I never even considered this, right? And there was one that I actually did go to that I was like, I don't think I'm going to be interested in this, but I still want to go and listen to it. It was called The Art of the Beatdown. And
interesting.
And it was interesting. And for me, kink has always been associated with sexual activity. It's always been something that I do, at the same time. And because it turns me on, right? It was always like something sexual in nature for me. But that is not necessarily the case for all kinksters. Some people don't want to have or don't have sex at all during their kink play. And I would say that most dominatrixes do not have any sexual activity with their subs, the professional ones. Now, if it's lifestyle, then it's a different story. But for professional experiences, typically they do not have any sexual encounter with their subs. They're doing it for other reasons, and maybe it is a turn on for them, but they don't actually go to, the end, which is to have sex with them. So I thought that was something that I had taken away from it. And the talk that I was just mentioning was called The Art of the Beatdown. And it was literally teaching people how to fight with one another, how to punch, how to hit, how to create marks on the body. And some people really want to push themselves physically to the limit to see how far they can take pain and how far their bodies can experience the beat down, right? And I was sitting in there going, oh my God, I can't believe, like, why would anyone want to do this? But the people that were in there were totally into it. And the people that were giving the class and also being like the subs of the class to show, like, because typically the teacher like does some demonstrations. And so the people that were there were people that love this. This is like their kink. They love to be beat down. They love to fight. And so I just thought that was super interesting and something that that opened my eyes, opened my eyes to something that I had never really considered before.
If you've ever wished sex could feel more connected, more intense, or honestly just more fun, you need to check out Shameless Care. They're a telemedicine company built entirely around sexual health, real doctors, real prescriptions, and products that actually work. Like Shameless Chemistry, their oxytocin plus tadalafil blend that deepens connection and boosts arousal. Or Shamelessly Aroused, a topical cream with the active ingredient found in men's ED medication, increasing blood flow exactly where it counts. Every order includes a short video introduction from your doctor, transparent pricing, and no subscriptions ever. Just real, sex-positive healthcare that delivers results. Because you're a Please Me listener, you can use coupon code PLEASEME for $15 off your order of any product on the Shameless Care website. Use the code PLEASEME, that's PLEASEME, at checkout to claim your $15 off. Again, that's shamelesscare.com, code PLEASEME. Because great sex shouldn't be complicated. It should be shameless. This episode is sponsored by Shameless Care. Are you looking for a sexy date? Look no further than SDC.com. SDC.com is the premier ethically non-monogamous website that is worldwide. It also hosts a wealth of information on sexuality and sexual health, and I host a free live webinar monthly on the site. You can use code 37340 for a free trial membership on me. And be sure to reach out on the site and say hello. Hi, I'm Eve Hall from Please Me Podcast, and I wanted to come on here today to talk to you about something that I recently discovered, and I think it is such a game changer. During COVID, I gave up 3 things. 1 was not wearing makeup every day. And yes, I have makeup on today because I just finished recording a podcast, and I like to put my game face on. But on a daily basis, I'm not wearing makeup every day, which has been a big change for me. Another thing was that I stopped working for other people. And so hence my podcast and hence my private practice, Inspire Health Physical Therapy. And the third thing I gave up during COVID was wearing a bra. And the reason why I want to talk to you about that today is because I wanted to talk to you about Cakes. Cakes is an incredible product that I've been using so that I don't have to wear a bra all the time, but I can look like I have a bra on. And what it does is it just covers up the little nipple show that you have going through your clothes, and it allows your clothes to fit you seamlessly and smoothly. And it is a beautiful product, and they are so much more comfortable to wear than wearing a bra. And I have to say that it's so important to give your body time without a bra, because just like any other brace, if you're wearing an ankle brace or a knee brace and you wear it all the time, it's going to cause atrophy around that joint. And the same goes for a bra. If you're wearing a bra all the time, it's going to also cause weakness in your pectoralis muscles. And the pectoralis muscles are the muscles that help you to lift your breasts. And if they get weak, your breasts will sag. So wearing Cakes is really great for decreasing sagging. So I just wanted to come on here and tell you to get your Cakes. And I wanted to share mine with you. Today I have the triangle ones on, and I'm going to show you how easy they are. They adhere without adhesive to the skin naturally. And you can see they come in different colors, and you can see it just adheres, and it just allows your look to be nice and smooth. So make sure you check out the link below and get your Cakes today.
¿Hablas español?
Sprichst du Deutsch?
If you used Babbel, you would. Babbel's conversation-based techniques teaches you useful words and phrases to get you speaking quickly about the things you actually talk about in the real world, with lessons handcrafted by over 200 language experts and voiced by real native speakers. Babbel is like having a private tutor in your pocket. Start speaking with Babbel today. Get up to 55% off your Babbel subscription right now at babbel.com/Spotify, spelled BABBEL.com/Spotify. Rules and restrictions may apply.
Adobe Acrobat Studio, so brand new. Show me all the things PDFs can do. Do your work with ease and speed. PDF Spaces is all you need. Do hours of research in an instant with key insights from an AI assistant. Pick a template with a click. Now your prezzo looks super slick. Close that deal? Yeah, you won. Do that, doing that, did that, done. Now you can do that with Acrobat. Now you can do that with the all-new Acrobat. It's time to do your best work with the all-new Adobe Acrobat Studio.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever find yourself playing the budgeting game? Well, with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive, you can find options that fit your budget and potentially lower your bills. Try it at progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law. Not available in all states.
I actually seen one at the ASN Awards. So when that was happening, I was like, oof. I was just like, that wouldn't do me at all, anything. But it was just interesting to see how that was being done. and also in a caring way, going back to the aftercare piece, was like you leave the mark, but also like after the scene is done. And I think I can't remember what episode you're talking about where you did learn from that dom com of like talking about how the scenes were set up and how long the scenes can actually last. And that was interesting to me of like they can last more than just the session of the night. It could be all day or week even. So that's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, that was the episode with Maeve McBride, and she was the very first episode of the Kink series. And she talked about intuitive topping. And I love the concept of intuitive topping because basically what she was looking for were people's reactions, the breath, if are they breathing heavy? Are they breathing in a relaxed way? How their body is moving when she's doing an impact scene, for instance, and giving them impact. And so I thought that was really cool because really, when you are having any kind of experience in the bedroom, you are intuitively looking for these signs from your partner to see if they're enjoying themselves, And so I thought that was super interesting because really intuition can be used in any format. It doesn't necessarily have to be a kink scene, but I really liked how she broke that down. And another thing that she talked about, and I don't know if you remember, was the pain scale.
Yes. Yep. So tell me more about that one, because that one was interesting when it comes to levels of pain. And I'm like, I have very low tolerance for pain when it comes to that.
Yeah. So not everybody likes pain. Some people just like pleasure and they want to be touched with things like, rabbit fur or, things that are very gentle like feathers. And that can be sensation play too. It could be something cold. It can be something warm. And so really sensation play doesn't have to involve pain. But she talked about a 5-point scale. And she said that 1 is basically that you're wasting your time, that, it doesn't really feel like much and it's not something that you're into. 2 is something that you can go all day, right?
Mhm.
3 was that you can do that like, comfortably for like an hour and you can tolerate that like comfortably for an hour. 4 was like maybe 10 minutes. You can tolerate that and that no more than that. And then 5 was like if you do it for like a minute or 2, or no, I don't even think it was that. I think it was like 4 or 5 like hits or something like that, and that was your max. So 5 is like the max. And so I think it's really a good concept, to be able to use this scale to really kind of understand what your partner is feeling, because you may feel like you're being very gentle, but really maybe they're at a level 4, and so it can be really used in a lot of different ways. And I thought that was really interesting.
And this is the thing, it's like how long, I guess it depends on what you're going into that session for. Because I'm thinking of like, say if you're in the moment, you're in the heat of the moment, you found somebody that's new. Okay, now we gotta go through this lovely walkthrough of communication. And say like you really only have about maybe 3 hours together. So do you spend 2 hours communicating and then 1 hour of activity? Or do you just kind of like, hey, we're just going to talk about it before we even do anything? Because I don't think it'll be good to rush into it, even though we are ready for it right now. But for us to get the best out of this moment, it's best to kind of talk this through. So what do you think is like that time frame to kind of really talk through all of this? How long would you say it would take?
And that's where we wrap up part 1 of this 2-part series with Anthony Weaver. Be sure to tune in next Wednesday for part 2, where we continue our conversation and break down the key highlights and takeaways from season 6. If you're feeling disconnected from your body, struggling with intimacy, or facing a sexual health condition, you're not alone. There is no shame in what you're experiencing, and you don't have to figure it out on your own. But the longer you wait, the harder it becomes to reclaim your confidence, pleasure, and connection.
That's why I offer a free 15-minute discovery call to explore what's going on and whether working together is the right next step. Spots fill quickly, so don't wait. The link is in the show notes. Grab your time now. I want to personally invite you to join me on Patreon for ad-free listening, bonus episodes, and early releases. Already there is a lot of bonus content on there with many webinars that I've done in the past and a show that I've never released to the public before. My show is completely self-funded, and when you are able to support me in this way, I'm able to spread my message of body positivity, self-love, and women's empowerment, and empowerment in general around sexuality around the globe. And so with that being said, I appreciate everyone who has already joined Patreon, and if you've thought about joining, now's your nudge to do so. I thank you from the bottom of my heart.